Hello everyone, it is game day, home of the Rugby League show, and the big news coming out of Rugby League this week. Tony Smith has left Hull FC. Yes, to repeat that, Tony Smith has left his position as head coach of Hull FC. So yes, this news broke on Thursday, the day the Rugby League show came released. I did record a clip, but forgot to add it in. The video was almost done when that news got released, which was a little bit annoying. But yes, Tony Smith has left his position as Hull FC. Is it a surprise? Unfortunately, no, it's not. I remember, if I remember rightly, in that video I said both Smiths, Rowan and Tony Smith, are the two head coaches under pressure right now. And yes, the defeat, 56-22 defeat at home to Huddersfield Giants, was the last straw for Tony Smith at the home of Hull FC. And yeah, it had been a poor start to the season. Tony Smith was, of course, a fantastic head coach. He's had great success at the likes of Huddersfield, Warrington, KR even, Great Britain. So he's been about, he's done really well for himself. He's a fantastic head coach in Super League. He may even get another job, who knows. But it just didn't quite click at Hull FC, and it never really did, to be honest. And he was probably under a little bit of pressure right from the start to get things to click. It was a poor season last year for Hull FC, and coming into this year, big new signings, expectations not too high, but maybe of an outside chance of the playoffs, of a decent cup run. Certainly not getting battered, conceding 50 plus points each week. That would not have been the expectation, and unfortunately that's where Hull FC are at right now. They conceded 50 points in consecutive home games, in consecutive games to Huddersfield Giants, because they did it in the cup and in the league. Yes, they scored 22 points, but when you concede 56 points, it doesn't matter how many points you score, you're probably going to lose if you concede 50 plus points. And in the end, the people at the top at Hull FC have decided, bye-bye Tony Smith. What doesn't help Tony Smith, or what didn't help Tony Smith at Hull FC, I should say, was the success of the team across the road, the noisy neighbours, if you will, Hull KR, who, some would say were a smaller club in Hull, possibly. I'm not going to get into that debate, but I would certainly say right now, Hull KR are certainly the better club. If you're a player and you had to pick to go to a Hull club, you're picking Hull KR. There's a feel-good factor. They got to a cup final last year. They're in the playoffs last year. They're probably getting the playoffs again this year. They got a fan base that's just growing and growing. So there's a real good feel-good factor at Craven Park. Can't really say the same for the MKM Stadium. So I think the success of his rivals in Hull KR didn't help Hull FC and Tony Smith at all, and would have been a contributing factor to his sacking. But the main factor was, the poor results. Yes, they've had injuries, suspensions. It's a young squad, but at the end of the day, everyone has injuries, everyone's had suspensions. Yes, they had more than some, but it was a really, really poor start, and they've now got to get someone in now and have a complete rebuild, because right now Hull FC, they can't get much lower than what they are right now. They are 11th, they're only above London. They really need to turn it around. So, who do they need to turn it around then? Well, I know as a Salford fan, our initial reaction was, right, make sure Paul Rowley doesn't leave. I don't think he's been linked, which is very good for us, but they need someone like that. They need someone, maybe a bit like Willie Peters again at Hull KR. They need someone to come in, with good sort of younger, fresh ideas. Maybe Tony Smith, because he's been in the game for so long, where his ideas outdated. I'm not suggesting that they were, but maybe they were. Who knows? But they need to bring in someone now for a project to sit down for a couple of 2 or 3 years and say, right, this season, right off, we're at the cup. We're not going to get the playoffs unless we just go on a ridiculous winning run, which, sorry, Hull FC fans, that's not going to happen. You're not getting playoffs, you're not winning the cup. You've got to look at 2025, build throughout the rest of 2024, get rid of loads of deadwood, bring in a new squad. And to be fair, they tried that last summer and that didn't work, or last winter. They've got to get it right this winter. They've got to bring someone in for the project to build a young squad, a bit like Warrington have done with Sam Burgess. They brought in Sam Burgess. They've said, right, here's the squad. You mould that squad into what you want. And we're starting to see a project come to fruition at Warrington, with a young squad, a young core, players who can grow and develop. And we're seeing it already at Warrington. That's what Hull FC need. Since recording these clips, Hull FC have released 2 players from the club. Halfback Famani Brown and fullback Texoy have both left the club. They were both out of contract at the end of the season. Texoy, I believe, was unhappy at Hull FC anyway and was linked with a move away. Meanwhile, Famani Brown, who signed a 1-year deal last year in October, he has requested to leave on compassionate grounds. But yeah, so we've come to the end of another video here on Game Day. I just wanted to do this one just to cover Tony Smith's sacking, or dismissal I should say. I believe he was sacked, but we'll say dismissal at Hull FC. If you haven't enjoyed this one, please don't forget to like and subscribe, leave a comment down below, let me know how your team is getting on. Don't forget to check out the Rugby League show. We have highlights and analysis of all the Super League games and analysis of the lower leagues as well. So make sure to check that out. But yes, once again, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you for the next one. Goodbye.